Where are we headed to in our democracy? What kind of democratic culture are we building? Governor said in one breath, he said this, in another, he said, no, we are going to do things differently. Is it troubling that we see a governor said, look, all the government positions will be occupied, including government contracts will be awarded to only members of our political party? How does it hit you? What do you think?
It's so surprised to hear this from Governor Eno, because I remember that June when he decamped to APC, when he was like he's going to carry everybody along, he's going to work even with the PDP people that he was leaving. But unfortunately, a state that has more of civil servants and a state where everybody is like, okay, let's join hands together to develop the state, and you are not coming to like divide it, you are segregating it. Isn't that what we are talking about in the state police matter of just now? This is just contract now. That because he is sitting there as governor and he has the power to now say who gets the government contract and who is going to be appointed into the board, he has now come up now and said it's only APC persons. This is APC that he just went in just about 6 months ago.
Well, he's not the leader of APC in the state.
But in spite of that, the other persons that are not APC members, are they not part of the state? Are they not working towards the development of the state? Are they not paying taxes to the state? Are they not also part of those that will need to also be able to feed their family? Where is the area of merit here in what he has just said now?
Okay, maybe he will find people within the APC that have that merit. Now, Prince, I look at your face and I see you giggled at some point. You understand politics very well. Back in June, when Omar defected and he came out with this more like pure governance system that, look, nobody will be victimized and all of that. At that point, did you believe him?
I didn't believe him.
Okay.
I don't believe politicians. I don't even trust them. Even my own family members want to become a politician.
Okay, so you are not taken aback?
No. The only reason why I listened to him was because, you know, they have these titles they add to their names. Pastor. Nigeria has been ruined by some of those who call themselves men of God. A lot of people will go to hell because of the actions of some of the so-called men of God. But you use pastor as a bait to deceive the people.
Let me ask you, do you expect a governor to award contracts to his political opponents?
Yeah, I said it now.
No.
Okoro, you see, this thing didn't start with him. And that's why I say we allow illegality in Nigeria, and over time it becomes legal. The governor of Edo State, Akwa, came up and said, if you don't wear a Bola Ahmed Tinubu's cap, you will not be allowed into government house. You will not be allowed into government premises. And we just laughed. We just looked at it and we said, yeah, let him do what he... No! Our leaders are not accountable. The problem that led to the coup in Benin Republic, this is part of it. When the president woke up from sleep, changed the constitution, changed the game in the middle of the game. He changed the goalposts.
Prince, if you were a governor under the party ABC, will you award a contract to a member of
as a governor, you are not a governor of a particular party.
Okay.
You are a governor of the entire citizens of that state, even non-citizens.
Ideally.
That is the way it should be.
Ideally. Okay.
The kind of operation we're having in Nigerian politics is annoying, it's nauseating. Our politicians are pushing the Nigerian people to a point where if the people will react, we may not have Nigeria anymore. The kind of stupid things our leaders are doing. Our leaders are not thinking out of the box. A country where there is poverty, there is hunger, there is unemployment, and all we keep talking about is politics. This is 2025. Already we're talking about elections of 2027. People are aligning themselves. Nobody's talking about leadership. It's an embarrassing situation.
All right.
Okay.
Let's take the conversation to Mazi David Ihoma. Mazi David, what do you make of this, will I say, statement from the governor of Ibom State, Eno, Pastor, saying that people that will be awarded contract to must belong to APC. And we're also juxtaposing that with a statement made by the governor of Edo State, Omebolo, when he went further to defend the statement he made about people wearing the alphabet insignia cap, saying that it will create more jobs for tailors in Edo State. Recall he sacked someone already for not wearing the cap. He sacked one of his aides for not wearing the cap.
See, all those statements joined together are undemocratic in a democratic society. The basis of awarding contract is not based on partisanship. It is based on competence and people who are renowned in a particular job they do as individuals. People bid for contract. It is not that politicians or political parties or members of parties that bid for contract. These are registered entities that has a very reputable integrity when it comes to whatever work or contract they're bidding for. They cannot politicize contract because the duty of the state is to ensure that any contract awarded should be awarded to those who have the competency and the capability to carry out the particular biddings they are aiming for. When you are now award contract to party members, accountability will be eroded. You can't hold them accountable for the job they are doing. There will be substandard. The job you don't be substandard will not be up to the measurable standard they are bidding for. So it's inimical to our society and development for governors or leaders to be making such undemocratic statements that can only show division among members of the state. With respect to what the governor of Edo State says, all those things are more just like they're giving the president hope, trying to make it look as if that one that determine what happened in the state. But when the election will come, most of those promises they make will not be stopped.
Okay, Mazi Ihoma. Now, how undemocratic is it that NJC had their conference the other time, and the president was to speak, and the president's campaign song was played by the band, and we could hear some, judicial officers, lawyers, judges, some people there were mouthing the song, "On your mandate we shall stand." How does that make you feel? Were you there?
No, I was not there, but the person that the instrumentality, the band or whoever they engaged to chair the occasion ought to have been deeded decisively, because I will tell you that it was not the judicial officers that instructed him to play that song. It was a Vasilios DJ or whoever the person is that
yes,
that song.
But we saw the judicial officers sing along. Was it because it was a very rhythmic song?
The president was called to podium. As the culture is, everybody will stand up while the president was called to the podium. But the Vasilios DJ was the one who played that song where the judicial officers were standing up.
And the Vasilios.
Okay, so the DJ or the band played the song, but I wish we could play that video again, because we played it here, when it happened. We heard some officers of the judiciary as well, some lawyers, judges, sing along, even though it was published later that no, the lawyers did not sing along. But we heard lawyers sing along in that clip that was put out there. Should that be blamed on the DJ?
If they have sung along, the problem we have that both the judiciary and the legislature are not independent. If they were independent, there is no how the president can determine who should be the principal members of the National Assembly. It's not possible.
Are we walking towards a dictatorship here? Gradually. Do you think so? Are we gradually moving towards a dictatorship in Nigeria?
Nigeria has been a dictatorship state right from the inception of the Nigerian constitution. The president so that he can now
help me explain that, because I don't understand that. I'm lost here now. How do you mean?
I said that the Nigerian constitution gives an ample power to the president that he cannot chair and coordinate affairs of the judiciary and that of the legislature. So that has made people not to be able to stand their ground and defend the autonomy and independency and impartiality.
Okay, we do have an interference there. I hope that will be resolved so we can continue the conversation. Well, let's bring you, while we try to work on that interference, let's bring you back to the studio. You've always clamored for a change to the Constitution. So is this another reason to change the constitution? You think the constitution
so
empowers the
many
president
reasons.
to be, so powerful?
No, there are so many reasons to change the constitution. This is the 21st century. Don't forget that when President Obasanjo was sworn in, there was no constitution. There was no constitution. What you have today that you call the 1999 constitution is Decree 24. That was only put together by a wicked, self-seeking, self-serving political class working in cohort with the military.
But a lot of some Nigerians will always tell you, like, the constitution is not the problem. It is the people that administer some of those things that are the problem.
Mr. Moses, if
Prince
the constitution is not the problem, and the constitution says you can decamp from your party and hold on to the position you had from another party, why is it that
the constitution doesn't say that?
No. Why is it that people don't resign?
But the constitution doesn't say that.
Why is it that you don't resign or you don't leave VOP, for instance? Maybe you're a GM in VOP. You leave VOP and go to another TV station and become a general manager there.
Because
and you're still collecting salary here.
Ethically, it is wrong. So it is a
constitution. It is a constitution.
Okay.
The constitution has created the lacuna for them to do that.
You're itching to say something.
I think implementation is actually the biggest problem.
Not the constitution itself. Yes.
The interpreters of the constitution is like whether they are afraid to do their job. You see, the two political parties a political party is in chaos with its members. The court says, go and sort out yourselves. It is an eternal thing.
Okay.
Another court will now pick that same matter again and begin to issue injunctions and counter injunctions, and what the Supreme Court has said is an eternal problem. So when you look at the interpreter of the constitution, and this is supposed to also be the one that will also punish offenders, you see, they are actually part of those that are making the constitution look as if we don't have a constitution. Okay, people defected, and we saw all that happened. We saw them with flags and all that. The court says they never saw them defect to another party. Until last week now, they now came up with a ceremonial thing and said they have defected. This defection, they've done it over a year ago. So when the interpreters of the constitution are not sincere to the people and to themselves, the constitution will always have blame.
I still disagree with you, sir.
Okay.
If the rules of engagement are clear, it will showcase itself immediately.
Okay.
If the rules of engagement are clear, you do not need to go through the back door, the side door to be able to say, it says white is white. We all know white is white. The problem is that document has a lot of hidden landmines. And the politicians are taking advantage of the landmines.
All right then.
But if the laws are clear, that says you become, you lose your power, no two ways about it.
But it has happened. It has happened in a case in our own those states. Somebody decamped and he lost his seat.
So what has happened?
Why is it now that?
What has happened after that?
Why is it now that some other persons are not decamping? They are not losing their seat. That's why I say
because their parties are having internal
That's what I'm saying. That implementation is the problem.
Because
it was done in Ogun State, and somebody was punished for it.
The constitution gives you a way out. The constitution shouldn't give you a way out.
Okay.
It gives you a way out. And the politicians are capitalizing on that way out.
Every law has some.
That's what they call technicalities. There's some technicalities in every law.
There's a loophole. Well, let's go back to that video. I hope we've been able to rectify the audio issue with Mazi, Ihoma, and Chika, so we can get their views on the conversation. But let's take that video where "On Your Mandate We Shall Sing" song came up. Let's take that video. Let's be certain we have it. Your mandate we shall stand. Well, Mazi, no, it's okay. We've seen it multiple times. Mazi Ihoma, please. You were reacting to something there.
Yes, I said previously that based on what you say that some people sang that song.
Yes.
But my reservation listening to the whole thing was that it was the DJ that played that song when the president was called to the podium. But I also say that the problem we have as a country is because there is no independence of judiciary and independence of legislature. These organs of government are supposed to be separated institutions working for the benefit of the state, but fully independent. They are not loyal to the president. But our constitution made it that the president has so much power that these arms of government are loyal to the presidency, because the president can literally terminate the appointment of the head of judiciary, remove anybody at the National Assembly. So when the president wears such enormous power, there cannot be anyone that can cut her or call him to order, because the power is too much. So that is my opinion with respect to that video.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. Chika, let's get your reaction very quickly. Do we still have Chika with us?
Well, you know, imagine giving state police to people like Akwa Ibom state governor, people like Edo state governor. Imagine the implication. So what the governor said is not new. It is not new. These are the things these governors do in their respective states. So he's merely, you know, it was God that made him to reveal his own. You see it? So these are the things all the governors do. If you are not member of their party, that is why their projects do not last. This is why they don't give contracts to people who have what it takes to deliver on contracts, you know, to deliver contracts. So it is just unfortunate. It is just unfortunate. So that's what we have seen. And we will continue seeing it until Nigeria decides to fix itself.
The question I asked is, do you think, in your opinion, do you think Nigeria is gradually tilting towards a dictatorship under this administration?
Is it about this the song you?
No. About the way things are being done, where governors are mandating those that work with them to represent the person in power, where governors are saying, look, you have to be a member of the party, where governors are going to the APC, where political parties don't seem to, we don't seem to have opposition parties, effective opposition parties. The APC seems to be the only viable party right now. That's the angle from which I'm asking the question.
Well, party politics in Nigeria is one of the worst world over, because it makes democracy one-sided. It makes democracy one-sided. One-sided in the sense that when a governor emerges, that governor thinks that he's governing only members of his political party. He does not believe that other members of other political parties are part of the ownership of the states, of the territories they govern. So it is what it is. Nigeria, it is part of what is putting Nigeria into a mess.
All right,
so
thank you.
I don't know if I understood you well.
Well, that's okay.
Thank you so much. Thank you. We're not wasting much time. The Nigerian Labour Congress has announced plans to hold a nationwide protest. And the date for that protest will be December 17 over the escalating insecurity in the country, particularly in the recent spike in attacks on schools. And the decision, this decision was reached during the National Executive Council meeting of the Congress held in Lagos with a communique jointly signed by the NLC President Joe Ajero and Acting General Secretary Benson Opa. Also, we have pensioners in Nigeria and local contractors threatening to protest naked over unpaid wages, arrears, and every other thing. What do you make of this? I'll start off with you, Mr. Elvis. What do you make of this? 17th of December, NLC want to protest again for incessant killing and kidnapping. We have pensioners and contractors threatening to go naked to protest. Recall that they put a coffin the other time in the front of the ministry.
Let us be serious. Is it today? The day just got done before the NLC, the insecurity matter. Let's be serious. Forget about this present crop of NLC. There's nothing that Nigerians are expecting from them. Nigerians are We even saw other everybody. I mean, all we have been talking about insecurity for since all this while. You know, they just woke up on Monday and started issuing statement and talking of going on a protest. Well, let them go. Let us also see how their own protest is going to make any difference. But I'm not seeing much from them. But for the pensioners, it's so shameful that people who put in their life for 35 years, you know, are being treated in this manner, because these are no people who never had the opportunity to actually line their pockets with public fund. The little they are expected to have to be taking care of themselves is also being taken away from them. I don't know why this government is looking at the other side, seeing these protests coming up from our aged father and mothers. It means by the time you are doing this to these pensioners, what are you encouraging? You are encouraging corruption. That even if you put in your best in the service for 35 years, this is how your own is going to end. That's what they are just showing. All right. They're telling us that this is how it will end.
Okay.
I don't know why you guys keep talking about NLC. We don't have an NLC in this country. I mean, those guys are not serious. They're the most serious set of human beings. Talking about them is wasting the time of Nigerians. We're talking about pensioners. People who have worked, put in 35 years, they're not getting their pension paid. That is where NLC should come out. NLC should not be telling us they want to protest against insecurity. What will their protest do?
It's not making anything.
What will their protest do? So, you know, NLC is, as far as I'm concerned, Christmas is by the corner. They are broke. So they want to collect Christmas bonus. Please don't bother me with that.
Master David Ihoma, what's your take on this, please?
It is justifiable in a democratic society for anybody to protest. What will determine the outcome of the protest is what demands are. There are demands on the issue of insecurity. The governments are trying, that will say they're doing their best. That is what they can do. But I don't think there's any meaningful thing that can come out from the protest. But I think with respect to the retiree, those pensions are being owed. It is very, very sad. I mean, being as a lawyer, there is so much corruption in civil service. We have gone to places that civil service is so corrupt. So I think this is one of the reasons why they are corrupt. If you have served for 35 years and you don't get your pension or gratuities, and it's quite a devastating, and people died without getting destined. So I think the government should be sensitive about this post plight and pay them their gratuities or pension as a.
All right, I guess we've lost connection to Mazi David Ihoma. Okay, and that's how far we can go, you know, in today's show, today's This Morning Voice of the People television. We thank you, Mazi David Ihoma, Esquire, and the Public Affairs Analyst for your submission. Also, Chika Ngoba, a Knight of St. Christopher, a good governance advocate and the Public Affairs Analyst. Thank you so much for also being part of today's show. Mr. Elvis Elimile, thank you for being here. Prince Francis Chilaka, we appreciate you. I also say a very thank you to the backroom staff. The director of the show, the producer of the show, also Chaba Innocent, the bag, the ingest, and the sound engineers, every other person that made today's show, you know, what it is today. We appreciate your presence. And then on behalf of my colleagues in the studio, Chukuma Okoro, Moses Humphrey, I am Fina, okay, Chukuma and Mo, I have to say it again. Nigeria will be great again. Nigeria is a great nation.
Amen to that.
And we're
Amen
giants of Africa.
Amen.
And we'll continue to be giants.
Nigeria is a blessed nation.
Amen to that. Whether it's
We have
great
to work
or
towards
blessed,
greatness.
I say amen to that.
Oh, amen to it, right?
You're speaking into the future.
Continue.
So, amen to that. But anyway, join us again in a few minutes, 10 o'clock. We'll be flipping the pages of the papers, analyzing the headlines and other stories within the papers. And we'd like some of these gentlemen to stay with us into newspaper review. But that's it on the show. Thank you very much for joining us. Join us again at 10. Bye for now.